Good day, everyone. My name is Kenneth Imagbato, and for today, I will discuss to you the necessary information and topics encompassing lesson planning. But before we define what lesson planning is, here are the objectives that are expected to be seen and observed right after the discussion. For the knowledge, at the end of the lesson, students are expected to define lesson planning and enumerate the importance of lesson planning. For the skill, students are expected to apply the important preparations in making a lesson plan and utilize the components of a lesson plan. For the affective, students are expected to create an effective lesson plan in the future. By definition, lesson planning is the activity which the teacher performs before the actual lesson takes place. A lesson plan is detailed description of the instructional strategies and learning activities to be performed during the teaching and learning process. In order to understand what a lesson plan is, it is important to fully understand the concept of a lesson. A lesson is a single activity or a series of activities designed by the teacher so as to achieve one or more instructional objectives determined or desired in promoting positive change in the learner. A lesson is thus a period of instruction or context or contact between the teacher and the learners which is totally devoted to a prior identified, specified, and single limited title, skill, content, or idea. After knowing the definition of what lesson plan is, we will now proceed with the importance of lesson planning or of a lesson plan. The importance of a lesson plan is that it enables the teacher to read ahead in order to enrich the content and the skill to be taught, to have confidence during the actual teaching and learning process, and to logically present the content standards of effective learning. So how can we achieve a good and effective lesson plan? Well, here are some important preparations for you. First in the list, we have 1. Identification of learning as well as teaching objectives, activities, and tasks to be undertaken by both the learners and the instructor. Number 2. Sequencing of the activities and tasks. Number 3. Determining appropriate instruction aids, methods, and references. Number 4. Deciding the proper organization or management of learning resource available, environment, and activities. Number 5, determining evaluation process, example, how the teacher shall be deemed to have acquired the desired chance of behavior or mastery of content and or skills. In addition to that, there are also 3 important guide questions that we must consider in making a lesson plan. First on the list, we have number 1, what do I want students to learn? Number 2, what teaching and learning activities will I use? And lastly, number 3, how will I check for my students' understanding? These guide questions will surely help you in making an effective lesson plan in the future. Of course, a lesson wouldn't be possible without its components. So without further ado, here are the contents or components of a lesson plan. First, we have number 1, learning objectives. In this component, it is expected for us to see what learning goals do you want to achieve in the class. Number 2, bridge in. This component of the lesson plan is where we do motivational activities or exercises that will hook the attention or interest of the learners. Number 3, teaching content. This particular component is expected to contain the curriculum you will deliver and explore throughout the lesson. Number 4, learning activities. This component of the lesson plan is where we integrate strategies to engage learners in active learning. It is where we insert fun and interesting exercises or activities that would keep the attention of the learners. Number 5, assessment. This component can either be through an informal or formal assessment. It is where we assess if a learning objectives are achieved in the class. Number 6, relate to summative evaluation. This component is where we get feedback from students and peers on the lesson plan. It is where we eventually get to realize if we have actually provided or presented effective strategies to the class. Again, the 6 important components of a lesson plan are: number 1, learning objectives. Number 2, bridge in. Number 3, teaching content. Number 4, learning activities. Number 5, assessment. And number 6 is relate to summative evaluation. Before I end my discussion, here is a very important message I want to convey. Efficient learning is next to an efficient teaching. Efficient teaching is next to a thorough preparation. Thus, let us be reminded that preparations are necessary in achieving goals. Once again, this is Kenneth E. Magbato, and I hope you learned so much from me. Thank you for watching.